So we're working with Snort here, and specifically kind of triggering some rules and just seeing some stuff we can do with our Snort and just, I guess, how it works. So we're going to do custom rules, a couple of custom rules first. We're going to put them on our WAN port. We said if anything generates an alert, it'll be blocked. So if I just want to do an alert without blocking, it has to be on my LAN port. Interestingly, the rules work about the same, and I'd have to look around, but I'm pretty sure you can actually block something that is on the LAN side also. Let me see. Okay, so let me just double check what we're doing. I'm on Snort interfaces. I went into LAN here because we're going to do the LAN rules. I click on LAN rules, and then I hit a custom rule. So you get a nice blank set here, and you get to type in your own rule. So the way they work is there's a command word. So here's going to be an alert. I'm going to generate an alert. There's a block. There's a deny. There's a couple other ones, but especially if you're my student, you don't need to know those right now because this isn't advanced right now. All right, so next up after the action word is the protocol you're going to use. This time it's TCP, so you can use TCP, I can use UDP, I can use ICMP, like various stuff about there. So TCP is going to be the protocol. The next thing is the source IP address, and then after that you put the source port. Now it's also possible to have a directional. So if I put in this, that would be any traffic going to, and here I'm going to put 192.168.1.2. So it's going to be any traffic going to our web server. And I would put any here, so that's basically any traffic going to our web server. For fun here, I'm actually just going to change this. Instead of being one directional, I'm going to go bidirectional, which means going to or from my web server. So here I say, right, to or from the web server. Then I put parentheses. And inside the parentheses is basically the rules of sort of what's going to happen. If I left off the stuff, it would still do an alert, I think, but this is fine. We're going to put in here content. Content's really cool. Content is just like Snort is a deep packet inspection. And so it will look inside packets. And in this case, we're looking inside any TCP segment. If it finds content, and here I can just put it in quotation marks, what I want it to look for. So I want it to look for mentions of me, and I also want to see that it doesn't matter if it's upper or lower case. So there's no case means it would be, don't worry about what case it is. Then I put a semicolon that ends the content section. Now I want to have a message, and this will put a custom message in the alert log. And I would put here something like traffic about Russell going to or from Windows server. Oops, spell stuff right. Windows server. I'll just put here detected. I'm gonna make it sound authoritative, right? And then I'm gonna put a quote here. I'm gonna put a semicolon because that ends the message. And then you need a rule identifier. So the rule identifier here, you have to be a little careful because the rules themselves, like you don't want to use a rule identifier that's already in use. I'm pretty sure the 1000 section is not in use. I have to end that with a semicolon and then another parentheses. So notice here the SID with a colon, that ends with the semicolon. The message with my message in it, and then that ends with the semicolon. Russell with the no case is the content one, and so that's a very exciting one. We're going to hit save, and Snort will see if it works first, which is kind of nice of them. Custom rules validated successfully. So it's acting like it works, and of course the proof is in the pudding. And so let's go into Microsoft Edge here. We're going to go to the web server, and if I hit enter here, it already says this is Russell's Windows server. So let's see if it even triggers an alert. Oh, I already have this other stuff up. I'm messing around a little bit, haven't I? I'm going to go into the alerts. I'm going to open this in a new tab because I may want to go back to my rule sets. Here's my alerts, and it did not trigger an alert on the LAN side, which is disappointing. Let me try one more. I'm going to go to the list albums. You can see already that I did one for magazine equals Russell. So instead of dazed, I put magazine equals, hit enter. And in theory, that better to make an alert. By the way, the auto refresh view doesn't really work that well. There we go. So traffic about Russell going to or from Windows Server detected. And by the way, I'm pretty sure now it's because I had this in the cache, and I can do this. I'll just delete all the browsing data. Let me go back and do another one for just this page. Because probably what happened is it didn't actually look for Russell on here. Let's see if we can find all sorts of mentions of Russell. Remember, these are only on the LAN port. There's another mention of Russell. That's very exciting. And in fact, if I was to do one here and just put like slash, and then just type Russell, even if it's in all uppercase, then it should actually trigger an alert too. So let's see if that does it. I'm just switching back and forth LAN to WAN. You can do however you like. And you see, like, we're getting all kinds of fun little alerts. So that's one that you're going to be trying to look at the contents of what's in the traffic. Again, if I put this on the WAN side, anything that generates an alert is going to be blocked. So, you know, in theory, I could put like keywords of like, don't search for these bad words, and then that would make it work too. Another one I want to do here is, we'll do this one on the LAN side, on the WAN side, sorry. We had, so here I'm in LAN rules. I'm going to go back to interfaces. I'm going to go to WAN settings, which is our little pencil here. I'm going to go to WAN rules and hit the custom rules for the WAN side. And this one I'm going to do, this is that basically that IP address block that we did in the firewall exercise. So I can just put an alert in here. If I was, anyway, again, you can usually go like block. If I want anyone or anyone on any port using IP, it doesn't matter anyway. Well, IP it does actually. And then I want to make sure, let's just make it go in one direction here. And we're going to go to that IP address of my web server. Oops, 3.104. And then we're going to go on any port because we're just blocking all activity there. Here, it's just going to block it. I don't need to look at the contents because it just triggers this triggers the alert. The actual traffic itself triggers the alert. And back before, if we didn't have content in there, just the traffic itself is going to trigger the alert. I'm going to put here, let's put here IP traffic to 216.92.0.104. This would be kind of a funny way to block an IP address. But sometimes, I don't know, I'm just going to block it because I feel like it. SID, and I'm going to put here this 10002 because we used 1001 last time. Don't forget the semicolon and the parentheses. Now, before I engage this rule, let me just go here. And I'm going to go to this website. We'll do Girls Geek Out. girlsgeekout.org. And there it is. And this, by the way, is pretty much the same as the other, what were we going to say here? We're not doing it inline. It's going to, this page is in the cache already, but it's going to detect it. Let me just show you why. So we're here, alert IP any. We're going to hit save. And what it's going to do, actually, hopefully, let's go ahead and hit here and we'll hit refresh. The page should still load. What's going to happen, though, is we should have now something on our WAN interface showing this traffic. And what happened is, you can see here this block. This means it's blocked, right? So now I can't go to any of those pages. I'm not going to bother to test it. I could ping. I can't do anything to 216.9230.104. So that's kind of cool. Really, that's cool. Okay. So that was kind of, yeah, I think that's pretty good as far as like if I'm just going to detect an IP address or a thing here. Oh, and let me just note here, I can remove the block either by clicking here, where it says removed host from block table. I'm just going to do it right now. And that removes it from the blocked table. This, by the way, will disable the rule, so don't do that. I don't know what plus does. Oh, well, that's fun. Don't show the alerts, but that's okay. All right, here, that sounds exciting. And I think that's pretty good for a web rule. Now I'm going to do something a little crazy. We're going to actually try to do some malware. Now, luckily for me, I already have my Kali started up, but you just can't see it. So there's Kali. My Kali's running right here, and I'm just going to log back in. And I'm actually already connected to where my students would be to find this file that has the malware in it. So I'm going to open up this file that has malware in it. And it's in this pcap file here. This is a bit of a long process for this. You can see I actually downloaded this already, because I needed to test it, right? So there's the file itself. I can open it with Wireshark, and I'm actually just going to extract the virus out of here. There's actually, it was in two places. I'm going to hit save, oops, sorry, export objects, HTTP. Now, if you're one of my students, you're having to do this because Windows is going to detect it. I want this cursor one, and I'm going to hit save. Now, the thing about this is it's best for now to just put it in downloads. So I'm going to hit save again, and now it's in the downloads folder. So let me close this. This is my export objects window. I can close Wireshark now. And I can go into, oh, that's nice that it's in here. Let me just show you again where it is. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to go into the File Explorer thing. And it's in Documents right now, or no, Downloads right now. Oops, open folder. All right, so there it is right there. Now I need to put it in the web server of this Kali, because that's what I'm going to do. This cursor PNG file is what I want. Now the web server, we need to actually install it. Or no, we don't have to install it. We just need to make sure it's running. And the way you make sure it's running here is you're going to go to I'm going to do a super user do. Oh, and it's right there. Oh, I just did a stop. I need to do a system CTL, and here it just needs to say start, and then it says Apache 2. Apache 2 should already be there. It's ready to run, because you would not believe, there's my Kali password, you would not believe all this stuff we like to do in terms of hacking people, that just having a web server installed and ready to go is, I don't know, handy. If your Kali doesn't have Apache, you're going to have to do a thing here where you might have to update the, so it would be sudo apt update would be one of the things you would do. And then you would do a sudo apt, oops, there it is right there, install Apache 2. You don't have to do that normally, but if you didn't have Apache going, that would be what you'd have to do. All right, I'm actually done here. The Apache 2 should be running. Let me just show you how fun this is. Let me go back over here. And I happen to know, we'll just do it where this Girls Geek Out org is. This is at 10.1.0.101. And this is pretty normal. If I didn't know where I was, let me go back to into the Kali. If I needed to know where I was, let me go back to a command prompt. I put ifconfig, and that will tell me that here's my IP address. I already knew it was 10.1.0.101 because I've been running it a while, but that's where it is. All right, these files, by the way, so this is that web page. I need to find these files. Let me go back to this. This here. I'm going to go into File System, and then I go into var. Then I go into www. Then I go into HTML. All right, and this is where those files are. I want to put the virus in here. I'm going to go back to downloads. I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to right click and hit copy. Now the weird thing about, not a weird thing, the var www root, I'm going back into var www. Here I need to open it as root. Open as root, because I need to, and I just type Kali again, because I need to change files and it doesn't like you to change files. So I'm going to right click now and I can actually paste, and then it's right there. All right, I'm going to show you just, this is something my students have to do anyway, so you on the internet are going to have to watch me do it. But what we're going to do is basically go back and recreate like this cool thing where we found somebody had downloaded a virus file. In the pfSense, there is basically a packet capturing tool, and it's right here. And you can turn this on, so I can capture the anything that goes into any of this stuff. Okay, WAN or LAN. For now, we're just going to say WAN. I think that's what I want. No, let's put it as LAN. All right, we're going to capture pictures from LAN, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go down this path and get that thing. I'm going to see that there was an alert, and then we're going to kind of look around and see if we can find the thing. All right, so I'm capturing on LAN, and I hit start. It only lasts a few, like not very long. So I actually want to go in quickly right now. I'm going to hit the slash, and I need the file name, cursor.png, and I hit enter. And it does this thing. This is actually a virus file, and we know that from the other exercise anyway. You can actually go back to here. It'll stop soon enough, so it has a fair amount of stuff in here. I'm not gonna, there's probably this count of 1,000, by the way. That's probably what's happening here. I'm gonna just hit stop here, and then I can scroll down and I can save it, download it, and it's packet captured. Now I have Wireshark already installed, so I can open this. And you know, there it is in Wireshark. Oops, let me just skip this stuff. Okay, so here's the stuff that was happening. Oh, you know what? I wonder if that, did that go on a, double check something. Uh-oh. Where's the PNG? Oh, I'm HTTP, okay. Oof. Scaring me a minute. All right, here we are at 10.1.0.101. There's a bunch of stuff going back and forth here. Let me just find really quickly in here where that cursor.png is. So let me put an HTTP here. And there it is, there's our cursor.png. And if I follow the TCP stream, like this is how this is how we recognize that it was a virus file in the other thing. So that's really cool. I can actually recreate one of these really exciting traffic capturing exercises. I'm just closing that out because I've proven what I need to know. And let me just go back here to, we're going to go into the Snort alerts. Let me just, oops, I keep going to the wrong user link. I switched to blocked. And notice here it says a network Trojan was detected. And now my 10.1.0.101 is blocked. And notice here, see, it totally did that content type image containing portable executable data. Now what would happen in a business right now is you'd get this alert, and it's fine that it's blocked, but someone is going to have to investigate it. And there is a way to configure your pfSense to just constantly be sort of monitoring, almost like a security camera. Usually you do it a few thousand packets at a time, and it may like do up to 5 things. And as soon as one of these alerts happens, you take those PCAP files and you save them, and you're going to use those for network forensics purposes. So hopefully this really was something cool. I showed you how to put in some alerts. You can change the alert for the content to stuff you want to check for. There was one for an IP address, so hopefully it's heavy and are good for you. And yeah, thanks for listening.